Hey, remember Kim Davis? She's that lady who is a county clerk in Kentucky who back in 2015 made national headlines for refusing to issue marriage certificates to people who wanted to get married, claiming that her bigoted religious beliefs were more important than the recent Supreme Court decision declaring that two adults of the same sex can, in fact, get married if they want to. She turned away a number of same-sex couples who wanted to get married before 6 of those couples decided to be fucking heroes and sue her ass. They won. She had to pay $100,000. She went to jail for a few days. And there's been a lot of messy legal back and forth since then, including a man who is on Davis's side suing her for refusing to let him marry his laptop computer because he was trying to make some kind of point about how gay people are inanimate objects, which is a very funny thing to happen to her. Also, last year, she had to pay the same-sex couples another $250,000. The circus also included glimpses into Davis's personal life, revealing that her religious beliefs value marriage so completely that she's had 4 of them, with 3 different men. She has 2 daughters from her first marriage and twins, a son and another daughter, who were born 5 months after her divorce from her first husband. Her third husband is the biological father of the twins, the children being conceived while Davis was still married to her first husband. The twins were adopted by Davis's current husband, Joe Davis, who was also her second husband. The couple initially divorced in 2006, but later remarried. It truly is our most sacred institution, isn't it? Anyway, it's been 10 years, and I'm sorry to inform you that not only is Kim Davis still alive, but she's also back in the news, thanks to the latest lawsuit she has filed with the Supreme Court, asking for them to vindicate her at long last by overturning the original ruling that she violated, Obergefell v. Hodges, which finally gave same-sex couples the same rights as heteros to get married. Let me start by pointing out that many, if not most, constitutional experts, of which I am not one, are very doubtful that this particular lawsuit is going to go anywhere. I know this is becoming less and less of a norm in our society, but on this channel, we continue to respect the consensus of experts, goddammit. Here are some reasons I've seen given by some of those experts for why they don't think that this particular lawsuit has legs. An attorney who helped win the initial case against Davis told The Hill that SCOTUS is unlikely to take the case due to the fact that not a single judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals showed any interest in Davis's rehearing petition, and we are confident the Supreme Court will likewise agree that Davis's arguments do not merit further attention. And that's true. Back in March, an appeals court ruled that Davis cannot raise the First Amendment as a defense because she is being held liable for state action, which the First Amendment does not protect. Other experts point out that in addition to Davis's personal ridiculousness, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett don't seem that invested in overturning same-sex marriage, so maybe the conservatives wouldn't even have the votes to do this. I've seen other experts like constitutional law professor Anthony Michael Kreese argue that this case will fail because unlike abortion, marriage opponents don't have the same social movement that anti-abortion forces did, which was core to the GOP. It's much more difficult to be reassured by arguments like that, considering that it is clearly factually incorrect. On your screen right now, I will show you the social movement that anti-abortion forces had when Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022. On the left, I will show you the social movement that the same-sex marriage opponents have now. In the summer of 2022, Pew Research found that 62% of Americans said that abortion should be legal in all or most cases. Later that year, another Pew survey found that 61% of Americans felt that legalization of same-sex marriage is good for society. Wow, that's actually 1% less than the people who supported abortion. But, it's basically a rounding error. Let's just say that for both abortion and same-sex marriage, the majority of Americans agree that they are good things. And on the other side, that 30 to 40% of haters, they're the exact same people. the Venn diagram of the anti-abortion people and the anti-same-sex marriage people is a circle. They are misogynistic, homophobic, and also racist bigots, many of whom use their fundamentalist Christian religion as an excuse to act on that bigotry. The religious right has spent decades using religious freedom to try to protect pharmacists who want to deny women birth control and doctors who want to deny women abortions, as well as bakers who want to deny gay people wedding cakes and county clerks who want to deny gay people the actual right to marry. Anyone who thinks that these are two separate movements and that one is more or less powerful than the other isn't paying attention, to the point that I can only assume that they've just come out of cryostasis after accidentally tripping into a freezer in 1920 on another planet, inhabited entirely by dumbasses. Like I said, I like to trust the expert consensus, so I will be cautiously optimistic that the hateful theocrats who run the Supreme Court realize that they will look like clowns by even taking this case of this five-headed hypocritical lolcow who obviously doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. But at the same time, I will not be surprised if the same court that has destroyed women's right to health care, allowed Trump to banish people to other countries they aren't from, and granted Trump immunity to do whatever he wants in office with no consequence, I won't be surprised if after all of that, this court decides there's nothing they can do that will result in any kind of meaningful repercussions. And so even if the court decides to ignore Davis's case here, I will continue to be on alert because the religious right is absolutely coming for marriage equality. This is their whole thing. They throw case after case until the Supreme Court picks the one they want, and then the religious right gets what they want. And by the way, when I say that they're coming for marriage equality, I don't just mean equality based on sexuality. If they manage to overturn Obergefell, and it seems like, honestly, eventually they will absolutely come for interracial marriage eventually. But Rebecca, you're rushing to type in the comments, that will never happen because one of the Supreme Court justices purchased by the religious right, Clarence Thomas, is himself in an interracial marriage. 2 points on that. First, some people argue that existing marriages will not be affected by anything the Supreme Court does regarding marriage equality or interracial marriage, thanks to Congress passing the Respect for Marriage Act in 2022. Hypothetically, a Supreme Court overturning Obergefell and even Loving would only ruin the lives of people who want to get married in the future. And, fuck those people, right? Clarence Thomas already got his. And that leads me to my second point. These laws don't matter to the ultra wealthy who already got theirs. Do you have any idea how many abortions have been bought by wealthy anti-abortion Republicans like Donald Trump? We do not live in the same universe as these assholes. They will simply fly to New Zealand to get their abortions or marry their gay lovers or hide out in a bunker while the apocalypse rains down upon us poors. I do not doubt for a single second that if Harlan Crow, not the bad guy from Justified, I'm talking about the billionaire who owns Clarence Thomas, if Harlan Crow told Clarence Thomas to pass a judgment that made it legal to shoot any black man on the street on sight, he would do that on his way to that makeup room where Eddie Murphy gets turned into a white guy.
Take what you want, Mr. White. Pay us back any time. Or don't. We don't care.
But I'm telling you, he's got to do it fast because I bet there's a good life insurance on him. And the second Ginny hears about that ruling, she's loading up her gun. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.